Hello, lovely people. I'm very excited to come and share this video with you today because what I'm showing you here is all the beautiful gratitude journaling kits that are part of the crowdfunder that I'm running at the moment to try and raise a bit of money up front so that I can actually get stuff properly designed and printed here in the UK and stop shipping things halfway around the world, which is bad news for air miles, and also get things a bit more eco-friendly with the packaging. These plastic bags are very recyclable, just like to say. And when you buy things from abroad, you can't really control how they're packaged. And I've been struggling with that, to be honest. So I've got these lovely, lovely kits that I'm selling to help with that little project. And they're all about gratitude journaling. And I'll leave the link below. Now, don't worry if you don't want to take part in the crowdfunder. That's absolutely fine. Keep watching. And I'll show you where I'm going with the gratitude journaling. And now they're all rainbow colours. I've got to decide which one to open. And it's quite tricky. I think I'm going to go for this orange and green one here. So I'm just going to show you what's in them and how you might go about using them and some of my thinking behind the content. And I'll leave a link for where you can get them on the website. There are lots of different options you'll see. And basically, if you don't feel like contributing to the crowdfunding by buying a whole kit, you can just get the booklet and use your own stuff, or do it the way that you want. Now, you may know, if you've been following my social media for a while, that I tend to do Thanks September. And in the booklet that I wrote to go with this kit, I've actually told you a bit of my own story and why I do the whole Thanks September thing. And I hope that some of you will find that interesting. Now, I'm not managing to get that off, so I'm going to have to cut it, I think. I've got some scissors over here. Sorry to stretch right in front of the camera. So there we go, just going to chop the label off, and you'll see that's, well, I hope you like it. I was really thrilled with these labels, and they're all different colours, and I'm going to use mine to put on the front of my journal. So let's open the kit here, and you'll see it comes in this bag, and the bags are actually really good because you can use them to store your stuff. So I've got that one all set up for posting, but once you've got it at home, you can just kind of have it like that, and it's a nice little storage bag you can carry around the house with you. So you'll see inside the bag you've got a journal, mixed media, lovely paper, though I say it myself in these journals, lots of paper, and the gratitude journaling booklet that I wrote, which is all about how to do gratitude journaling, and you'll see there's lots of information there and some suggestions and so forth. Now, I'm going to show you the rest of the kit in a minute, but first of all, I'm going to cover my journal. And this is the label that came off another kit, and I'm going to put this on the front. Now, I've got some scrapbook paper here, and as you'll know, if you've been to one of my workshops, 12 by 12 scrapbook paper covers a journal perfectly if it's an A5 journal. And the key thing about covering your journal is to make it look attractive. And basically, your journal is your precious place. It's your special place where you come to do your journaling. And so it's really important that it looks inviting. And that's why I always encourage people to choose a paper that you like, or do some collage, or stick some paint or some mixed media onto your journal and just get it looking really great. And it's so easy and quick to do, and it means that you don't have to fork out loads of money to make a really nice journal. Now, I give you in the kit these ones here because of the mixed media paper in them, and these journals can take a lot of harsh media, glue and so forth, and so I like them very much. But you can use whatever journal you like at the end of the day. So I'm just going to loosely stick that paper on there, and you'll see that I'm not actually lining it up with the edges. I'm not really bothering to do that because I'm going to wrap it round. In fact, I might line up the long edge there, along there roughly. I'm going to wrap it round and then I'm going to trim it. So I'm not really fussed about anything very precise here, which is great because it just makes it more fun if you don't have to worry. So I'm going to just cover that with some more glue on the back. And I'm using tacky glue here, Collall tacky glue. I'm going to start selling this on my shop soon. I've actually moved a lot of my creative journaling shop over to my website, which is very exciting. I've still got most of the Bible journaling stuff on Etsy, if you're interested in that. But the creative journaling stuff's really all going over to my website now. So I'll leave the link below, and that's where you can get the whole gratitude journaling thing if you want to. So I'm just spreading that around with my finger, cleaning off my finger on the rest of the paper, and I'm using really stiff, this is kind of like linen effect paper, and so that's why I'm using some heavy duty glue, wet glue, because this paper's thick and it can take it. But if I was using thinner paper, I'd probably just go for Pritt. So something like a stick glue like that, because that's absolutely fine as well, and it's nice and cheap, of course. The tacky glue is a bit more expensive, but it's worth it, I think, because it's archival quality and you know it's going to do the job. So I'm just sticking that over there and making sure it's really hugging the spine, and that's why I put quite a lot of glue down there. So that's all good. Close the glue, and I'm just going to lightly trim it because at the moment the weight of this paper is stopping the book closing properly while the glue dries, and it is of course essential that you dry the whole thing with the book closed so that the paper's got enough space to wrap around the spine there. So I'm just going to leave that over here for now, and I'll show you some of the other things in the kit. So there's actually 2 rolls of washi tape in here. I'm not going to open these because I've already got some, which I have opened. And there's a bit of a wreath theme going on here in the kit because for me, there's flowers in the natural world just symbolise a kind of universal beauty and bounty in creation. And I like them. I like looking at them. I like trying to paint them. They make me happy. And so for me, they get my gratitude going straight away. So you can see that's quite a nice wide washi there. And you can either use it as a washi like that to edge pages, or you can just cut it and use these little bits as stickers. And they're very sweet. So you can see how you could just use that as a sticker, maybe write the date above it or something like that. And then the second washi is this nice thank you one. And you'll see it basically says thank you over and over again. And so for gratitude journaling, I think that's really nice. And it's kind of reddy, pinky, orangey. So that would go with red, pink or orange in a kind of colour scheme. And you've got all sorts of different, and again, you can use it as a continuous tape, or you can cut up the sections and use it however you like. So you get both of those in the kit. And of course, if you're somebody who finds the blank page a bit intimidating, just put some washi around the edge before you start, and it's so much easier. There's also some sticky notes, and these will be different colours. There's some green ones, pink ones, blue ones, I think, and it partly depends on the kind of paper you've got. I've tried to coordinate them with the paper in your kit. So this one goes with the orange that was in that bag, and I've been really enjoying the posts on the Facebook group with people who've got the kit already, just using the packaging beautifully. So, you know, do use this stuff. It's crepe paper. There's all sorts of things you can do with it. And similarly, the ribbon. I've seen a couple of journals where people have tied the ribbon around the front of the journal, and it just looks gorgeous. So have a play with that and see. Us crafters are good at not wasting things. And so I've seen some brilliant examples of that. So these are just little sticky notes, and They're good for putting a little journaling spot on a page, or writing the date. And if you've painted a background, you can just pop this on and then write on it easily. So for instance, if you're using acrylic or paint that's hard to write over, then those are very handy. Now, all the kits have this nice packet of stickers, and again, these paper bags, I mean, look, can you see the foiled hearts? I love those. So again, use the packaging if you want to. I've seen some gorgeous pages made out of these bags, or use the bag as a little pocket. You can chop it off, you can use a sticker if you want. Just use them however you like. Now, there's a range of little stickers in here. There's the logo sticker for the kit, gratitude journaling, notice what makes you happy, and I'll explain more about that in a minute. And then some thank you stickers. You can see the wreath theme coming in there again. Some glittery hearts, and these are really sweet. You need to see these against white. These are little sort of puffy 3D hearts, and they've got some beautiful artwork on. Now, what I love about stickers like this and like these ones is they do inspire me to get my paintbrush out. I did actually paint these myself, and so, have a go. It's not hard. Just get some watercolour and try smacking it on and see how it looks. And it doesn't matter if you make a mistake. You can just stick something over it if you don't like it, or put one of these on the top. So don't be afraid to try. And again, for me, the heart kind of symbolises a like or a thumbs up. We use them all the time on social media. I love that. And you put a heart down. And I'm hoping that these will be useful symbols for you as you think about things you're grateful for. And then the final thing in the kit is this, which is a little present from me to you. And I don't think I'm going to tell you what it is, actually. It's a little special present. And you can either keep it yourself or you can give it to somebody else. And the idea with this is it's a tangible object that reminds you of the power of thankfulness. And you can use it in a number of different places. You'll see what I mean if you get one. And I hope you'll really like it. I just think it's exquisite and I love it. So there we go, that's that. And obviously, again, you can reuse this packaging in any way you want. Or you might decide to share the gratitude and give this to somebody else and just see how it makes them feel and how it makes you feel. So that's a little special thing there. Right, I think this glue has dried and I've stuck all my pages together as usual. And I'm just going to separate them out a bit. I'm notoriously bad at doing this. But you can always rectify things afterwards. There we go. And I'll put washi tape along there. So actually that's really not going to matter. In fact, I could just scrape that off if I wanted to. Classic crafting doesn't always go how you want it. And some of us just do always get too much glue everywhere. And, to be honest, I just think, yep, that's the way I'm made. I'm not going to fight it. Let's go with it. I've said that before. If you really mind, then you're going to have to use a bit less glue next time. But I've kind of trained myself not to mind about my mistakes because it just makes my life less stressful. So here we go. I'm going to trim this off. And it's still a bit wet. I would, if I were you, leave it till it's completely dry. But I'm going to do it right now, just for the sake of it, for the video. So you can see it's not exactly straight there, but it doesn't matter because I'll trim it and no one will be any the wiser. So let's just cut right up to the hard edge of the card. And that will hopefully come out neatly. Now, in the gratitude book, one of the things I'm talking about is how powerful gratitude is, but how easy it is to get the wrong end of the stick about what it is. And I think for many of us, especially for those of us who struggle with things like depression and anxiety, we know it's important to have gratitude in our lives and in our hearts, but it can make us feel so much worse. And I think for years, I kind of tried to do gratitude and just end up feeling really guilty and a bit worse off rather than better off, because I was sort of berating myself for not feeling it. And so I'm really challenging you in the way I've written the notes when you read them to not make things worse for yourself, but to actually give yourself a break and just quietly notice what makes you happy. And so the strapline for this kit and this whole Thanks September this year is just notice what makes you happy. And it's as simple as that. And even in the darkest of times, there'll be some small thing in your day that just gave you a tiny little spark of joy, even if it was only a tiny one. And you can see my example of that if you read the notes. And I just find that a helpful way of thinking about gratitude is not, oh golly, what ought I to be grateful for, but simply, well, what makes you happy? You know, there are things that make me happy, even when I'm feeling dreadful. And it's just about laying hold of those. Now, I thought I was going to keep this little string on the tag. I'm going to put the tag on the front of my journal. There's another one of these in your pack as well if you just want the sticker. But I'm going to put that on because I quite like the pink. And I was going to keep the thread there in a little bow, but I think I've decided not to. And I'll show you what I'm going to do instead. I don't know how it's going to look, but I'll try it and see. So just putting a little bit of glue on there. And again, using wet glue because it's card. If it was paper, I don't know what I'd do actually, because I'd probably just use Pritt to not make the paper go wrinkly. So I'm just going to pop that roughly in the middle. I'm eyeballing it. It's not going to be exact, but that'll be fine. There we go. And I think what I want, I'm not going to leave a hole there. I did specifically put very small holes into these, so you didn't have a lot to cover over if you wanted to use it like this. But I'm thinking what I'm going to do, I've got some hearts there where I already started, so I should probably carry on with those. And I'm thinking that I'm just going to use a couple of hearts. And I like this one with the stars. So I'm going to pop that there over the hole. And for me, they're stars in all those different colours, which kind of symbolise the different shades of life. The different colours in the stars there. And if that starts coming off, I'll just put some Pritt on the back of it, but I think it'll be fine. And then I'm also going to put a couple more just going up there, I think. Now with these stickers, if I decide I don't like that arrangement, I can actually come back and move them. But for now, I quite like that. And I may, in due course, decide to put something down here, maybe a kind of sentiment or something like that, maybe my name, maybe the date. I might cut out 2019, but I'm not sure yet. But for now, I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to show you how I'm just going to go about my first page, because I'm going to do it very simply. And I think what I'm going to do here is write something about my approach to the gratitude journaling and how important it is for me that I actually notice what's genuinely making me happy and don't start sort of beating myself up about what ought to be making me happy. And I do think these oughts and shoulds are terribly enslaving for us and make life a lot harder than it needs to be. So I'm working really hard to try and eliminate those at the moment, because they do just improve one's mental health no end if you don't have them. And I'm going to pop these flowers in a sort of garland around the rest of the page. And in the places where I've got the edges sticking over, I'll trim those later. But for now, I'm just going to do it like this. I think I'll leave that thank you showing down there. Can you see that? Just doing it so it shows at the bottom. And then using my usual method of not bothering to cut the washi tape because the ruler is so much more effective for doing it. And then I'll just overlap that there up at the top. Right, so that's my page edged. And then I think what I'm going to quickly do is just put down some watercolour in a little wash over the top, and then when it's dry I can write on it. So I'm using an aqua brush here from my shop, and I'm using this set of Komorebi watercolours, and I did a video on them when I got them, a kind of whole video and review of them, so I won't bother talking you through that, but you can watch the video and see what I think. And I'm using the metallics here from the bottom row because I don't think you can see on the video, but they actually do have a lovely sheen to them, and I'm covering the page with water just because I want to get the paint moving around a bit. Now these metallics, you have to work them up to get a lot of colour out of them, and that suits me just fine at the moment because I don't want a lot of colour out of them for this, because I am going to write over them. Now on a different page I might try and emulate some of the flowers in the washi tape, but for here on my frontispiece I'm just going for something really pale that I can write over, and I'm going to let the pigment and the mica that's in the paint, that's the glittery bit, just kind of run into each other. And some bits will look more pigmented than others, and that's just how I want it, that kind of variation. So you'll see I'm putting it on a bit thicker there. I'm going to put it on a bit thicker down here, and possibly actually paint over that with some more. And this gold, I'll hold it up to the camera in a minute. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's really glittery. So, and these are by Mozart, M-O-Z-art, A-R-T. And I think they're quite easy to get hold of online. They don't come from the UK, but you can order them from abroad. And I didn't have to pay any tax on mine, so hopefully you won't either. Right, there we go. So you can see the way that's going there. And just clean off the aqua brush on the tissue, and it's ready for next time. So what I'll do now, once that's dry, I don't know if you can see the glimmer, but it really is lovely, is just start to write on there about my hopes for the gratitude journaling this month, and how I'm going. I mean, I'm going to be well into October before I get anywhere near my 30 days, which I generally try and commit to, and it may end up into November as well, as I'm pretty busy the next few weeks. That's absolutely fine. This can take as long as it likes. So I'll just write over the top that the important thing for me is not what I ought to feel thankful for, but what actually gives me a little glimmer of joy. And that is the thing that points to what's really doing gratitude for you in your life. And it's from being honest with yourself that the actual benefits in terms of mental health come. And so I think that's why for me it's so important not to try and manufacture it, but to just look at the real glimmers of joy in life, because they're always there, whatever else is going on. So thank you so much for watching. I'll leave the links to everything below, and I hope that you too have a really thankful September and beyond. And please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.